now on the CTV News at 5. The first signatures have been collected for a petition on Alberta separation. Plus, most Alberta teachers say mandatory testing isn't helping students get the resources they need. And remembering the man called Mr. Goalie.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. 2025 was a year marked by economic uncertainty. Now, financial experts predict the beginning of 2026 will likely be more of the same, but there is hope for stabilization in the back half of the year. Quinn Keenan explains.
Uncertainty continues to impact local industry. Turbulent world markets have caused many to be conservative with their money and investments. Financial experts predict that will likely lead to slower growth to kick off 2026.
The story that we're looking at for Southern Alberta and for much of Canada is going to be the same. We're going to have a slower start to the year, followed probably by a more optimistic ending to the year. That means continued economic growth in the back half of the year.
It's a similar situation nationwide. The latest economic forecast published by Deloitte predicts 1.5% growth in 2026, down from 1.7% in 2025.
I think the main takeaways are that we're likely to see a soft start to 2026. We're still operating against a very uncertain backdrop.
The CUSMA review in July will be pivotal. A positive outcome for Canada could reverse the trend of slow growth seen over the past several years, but perhaps more importantly would provide certainty for businesses.
The outcome of that conversation is either going to propel investment forward or it's going to shift things dramatically, and we don't know which way it'll go.
Southern Alberta in particular will have to pay close attention to ongoing trade negotiations. The region relies heavily on exporting goods such as crops, livestock, and finished products. A new and firm deal may lead to more growth, setting up 2027 as a bounce-back year for the economy.
If we see any changes in the free trade agreement to the negative, that will impact productivity and profitability in Southern Alberta for sure. It's not going to be a dire thing likely because the United States is an important export market and they need our products.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The man behind an Alberta independence referendum petition says that canvassers are prepared to answer questions about separation. The first signatures were collected earlier this week, with the Alberta Prosperity Project holding town halls in several communities. Mitch Sylvester says many more town halls are planned where Albertans can ask about the logistics of separation. Sylvester says the group has already worked out a draft constitution in the event the referendum is successful.
Within 2 months, we'll have a constitutional conference, and the people will get to decide how they want their government to look. And based on the Constitution, that will be prepared then. And then at that point, we'll move forward to an actual election within a year. That's the plan. But the government that's in place is going to have to make that transition smooth and going to be in charge of making that happen.
Sylvester says the goal is to collect at least as many signatures as the Forever Canadian petition, which more than 450,000 Albertans signed. It is time to check in with Danielle Savoni to talk about the forecast. And Danielle, Chinook conditions just keep continuing.
They do, and it's going to get warmer and warmer this week, but of course it comes with the wind. Now today, looking at maximum wind gusts, 52 in Pincher Creek, closer to 70 in Lethbridge. So that's pretty much what we talked about today for the Lethbridge area. And then in those 30s, Medicine Hat and Calgary. Keep in mind it will pick up in many communities throughout these next couple of hours before it fully dies down for tonight. And they will be back tomorrow. All right, it's 3 degrees in Lethbridge, 2 in Milk River, 2 in Medicine Hat, and -1 in Pincher Creek. There are some flurries developing and moving off, like we talked about, towards QE2, and it will move down Highway 2. So many communities will see some flurries this evening. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Extra precipitation over the winter is warmly welcomed by farmers, especially after some recent dry summers. But as CTV's Gates Gurin shows us, the recent heavy snowfall northeast of Edmonton is causing some short-term problems.
Is this how it works? 2 old guys shoveling and the young guys in the bobcat.
Bruderheim farmer Neil Whitus is in good spirits as he helps out his neighbor. He and a few others have been helping to dig out this bag full of barley buried under several feet of snow.
Once they take the snow along the edge, it's not so bad. It's the gravity works more.
The bags are used to store excess grain. The recent snowfall means shovels, bobcats, and plows are needed to find it before it spoils.
You got to get the big drift off or you have trouble. The bag gets too heavy and it rips and then you got problems, yeah.
You can see just how much snow has already been removed from the grain bag. And that's only one side. It's still going to be a few more hours before the snow is completely cleared off and the bag is ready for extraction. Whitus dug his own bags out earlier in the week, but it welcomed some uninvited guests.
You open it up and a smorgasbord we can come eat. So the first day we had the bag out, there was 1 or 2 deer came, and then the second day there was 32 deer last night come to what was left at the bag.
Birds and coyotes also took advantage of some grain that had been left over. Whitus says too many animals can pose a problem.
They're like cattle coming, like they're tame. You go out there, you slam a door, and they'll move about 10 feet and they sit there because they want to eat, eh?
And he made sure to scare them off as best as he could.
So we had these on the bags. Yeah. I had red and blue flashing lights.
There is a silver lining to all the snow that's sticking around.
Everybody's happy. We're going to looking good for moisture.
Whitus says the ground isn't frozen yet, and moisture should be able to get to where it needs to go. He's optimistic more snow will come to help with seeding.
Hopefully towards April, May, or towards March, April, you get the wet snow. So it's looking promising for everybody.
A positive mindset he continues to have while lending a hand. Gates Gore, CTV News, Edmonton.
2 people in Medicine Hat have been charged after a targeted robbery and firearms-related incident. Medicine Hat police say they were called to a home in the southeast area of the city in the early morning hours of January 2nd for reports of an altercation involving several people known to each other. Officers say multiple people inside the home were assaulted, resulting in non-life-threatening injuries. Police say weapons were used and threats were made towards those there. When one of the suspects tried to flee, an officer encountered them in the common area of the building, and the suspect discharged a firearm. No one was injured. 33-year-old Brandon Webb and 31-year-old Brooklyn Carrier have both been charged. Although the numbers continue to trend downwards, the Alberta government is reporting 2 fatal drug overdoses in Lethbridge in September. The latest report from the Alberta Substance Use Surveillance System shows that the year-to-date total for the first 9 months of 2015 was 10. That's a little over 1 drug overdose per month. That is the lowest figure for the city since 2017. Lethbridge had a rate of 12 fatal overdoses per 100,000 residents between January and September of last year, which is just over half of the provincial rate of 22.5. A local couple has donated $100,000 to the Chinook Regional Hospital Foundation's Bringing Hearts Home campaign. The foundation announcing the donation made by Karen and Bob Barasab on Thursday. Karen says her father passed away from cardiac health issues last March, and her mom is currently a heart function clinic patient. The couple says supporting the campaign is crucial to bringing cardiac care to southern Alberta. The donation is the latest in the foundation's Bringing Hearts Home campaign, which aims to raise $30 million for cardiac care at the hospital. City of Lethbridge will be hosting its next community conversation at the end of the month. More than 40 projects will be on display, and representatives from a number of city departments will be available to chat at the event. Information on snow plowing, transportation planning, and transit will be some of the programs and services discussed. There will also be free public skating, prize draws, and giveaways. The city says the event has become a staple to connecting with the community. The free event runs on January 29th at the visitlethbridge.com arena. 3/4 of Alberta teachers say the new mandatory testing is not helping students get additional support. Last year, the province required teachers to conduct literacy and numeracy screenings for all kindergarten to grade 3 students. The province launched a survey to gather feedback about how the new testing was working. Over 3,500 teachers participated. A number of concerns were raised, including not having enough funding to administer the tests, children being quizzed on skills they haven't been taught, and the time testing takes away from teaching. The Alberta Teachers Association is calling on the province to make necessary changes to better support teachers and their students. A Lethbridge-based general contracting and construction management company has been named the title sponsor for the University of Lethbridge Pronghorn's men's and women's basketball teams. Ward Brothers Construction has been named the title sponsor and will be contributing $150,000 over 5 years to Pronghorn athletics. Part of that money will be used to improve strength and conditioning training, mental skills, and increased in-exhibition play. The investment will also create new scholarships through the U of L's endowment fund, with the Board of Governors providing an extra $25,000 in matching funds for the bursaries. The City of Lethbridge says Stan's Siwik Pool is expected to reopen on January the 26th. The facility closed for annual maintenance back on December 1st, but unforeseen issues with the basin delayed the original reopening date. The city says swimming lessons scheduled for January 12th to March 21st will now run from January 26th to March 28th. While repairs continue, residents can use the Fritzick, Nicholas Sharon, and Corban Ray YMCA pools. Danielle is coming up right after this break with your 5-day forecast. Plus, we look at what could be a game changer in Parkinson's research.
Here's your Skywatch weather camera on another stunning day. If you like the warmer temperatures, well, this week is absolutely for you. Well above normal, we'll get into the double digits, and we'll hold on to the double digits for days. We're just not there quite yet. But, you know, we're above freezing. +1 in Lethbridge and Milk River right now. Medicine Hat sitting at that freezing mark. And -2 in Pincher Creek. Of course, it is a little on the windy side. It has been all week, and it will continue to be. And that's why we're getting the warmer, milder temperatures. 52 was the max in Pincher Creek today, closer to 70 in Lethbridge, 33 in Medicine Hat. Now, in the far south, this will pick up likely before it calms down for the day. So we are looking at gustier conditions, at least adding another 10 kilometers per hour over these next few hours, and then we'll quiet down a little bit overnight, and then it will pick back up again for tomorrow. So here's a look at tomorrow. 70 kilometer per hour gusts likely in the Pincher Creek area, 60 for Lethbridge, and then everywhere else should be relatively calm and either 20 kilometers per hour or less when we're talking winds. All out of the west. We're still going to hold on to that mainly westerly flow for the rest of this week, and the winds will pick up more and more later this week, which is why we'll get much warmer temperatures. All right, we do have those flurries that are pushing into the Calgary area. They're along QE2 right now. This will start to slump to the south. So throughout the evening hours, supper hours, evening hours, don't be surprised to see a couple snowflakes out there. This won't accumulate to anything unless you're looking right at the BC border to the west of Pincher Creek area. So that could accumulate 1 to 2 centimeters from this, but everywhere else, just looking at a quick little burst of snow. As you can see, it's very short-lived. And then arriving in the Medicine Hat area in the early morning hours, but it should be out of the province completely by 6:30 tomorrow morning. Then it's a quiet day, other than, of course, a little bit windy at times. Lethbridge over to the Pincher Creek area. We'll get some sunny breaks as well. All right, East Kootenay area -7 tonight. Winds gusting 40 kilometers per hour for the evening hours. Back to 40 for tomorrow in the afternoon. A wind chill of -10 in the morning. So cold start to the day, getting up to +2 in the afternoon hours. All right, Crow's Pass -5 overnight. We're looking at gusts up to 70 kilometers per hour possible until about 9 p.m. Then it will quiet down a little bit, and then gusts up to 70 kilometers per hour possible once again tomorrow, especially in the late morning hours and early afternoon. And you're looking at a high of 3 degrees because of that. 50 kilometer per hour gusts for the next few hours in the Medicine Hat area. Quiet winds for tomorrow, but again, that's why you're staying below freezing. Small chance of those really, really early AM flurries around 4 or 5 in the morning, and then it's quiet, -2 as a daytime high. Lethbridge, longer range forecast. Check this out. 3 degrees for tomorrow. Again, winds gusting up to 60 kilometers per hour, especially in the late morning, early afternoon. A good amount of cloud cover for tomorrow, but also some sunny breaks. Then 9 by Saturday and into the double digits by Sunday, and teens by Tuesday.
A neurosurgeon at Vancouver General Hospital is researching whether a brain implant used to treat the physical symptoms of Parkinson's could also help with what's known as the invisible symptoms of the disease, such as depression, anxiety, and cognitive impairment. CTV's Shannon Patterson has that story.
I'm going to record from your brain directly.
2 years ago, Maria Boucher had an electrode surgically implanted in her brain that doctors use to help control symptoms of Parkinson's disease.
And I don't feel anything in my brain. I don't feel a bossing or anything like that. It's just something that happens, and it's there and it's working. So it's just amazing how it works.
So when we initially connect, I put this over your battery. You can hold that now. And then I would connect the tablet to the battery that's implanted inside her. And we can see this is the activity in her brain where the electrode is, and it's going up and it's going down.
VGH neurosurgeon Dr. Stefan Lang is now studying whether that same deep brain stimulator can help with another side of Parkinson's.
It's really good at treating movement symptoms. However, we know that Parkinson's disease has a lot of invisible symptoms, including cognitive impairment, anxiety, and depression. We think we can use the deep brain stimulator to study those symptoms, to understand how they're arising in the brain, and also, hopefully, in the future, to treat some of these symptoms.
That would be fantastic if it can be used for the non-motor symptoms. That would be just great.
Okay, Maria, we're going to test your cognitive abilities now with a memory test.
Boucher is one of 15 patients with Parkinson's in the research funded by the VGH Millionaire Lottery, where participants' brains are monitored as they do cognitive tests and take questionnaires about their mental health.
In that way, we can understand when somebody's feeling depressed or if someone is having issues with their cognition. Does it line up with signals in the brain in a specific manner?
It's hoped that by controlling the frequency in the electrode implanted in the patient's brains, non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's can be treated.
Already the motor symptoms that you don't feel anymore is amazing. That would be just a cherry on top. It would be just like not having Parkinson's at all. Yeah, it would be amazing.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
A new study reveals how quickly the weight may return for those who stop taking Ozempic or Wegovy. British researchers studied 9,000 adults. Those who stopped the GLP-1 drugs put the weight back on 4 times faster than the group that stopped diet and exercise. The drugs have been found to help people lose between 15 to 20% of their body weight. People who stopped taking the drugs gained back about 22 pounds within a year. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, remembering the man called Mr. Goalie. It was a battle between two struggling teams at the visitlethbridge.com arena last night. Lethbridge Hurricanes hit the ice for a weekday matchup with the Seattle Thunderbirds. Now things got off to a terrible start for Lethbridge as Seattle's Coster Dunn scored just 12 seconds in to make it 1-0. A few minutes later, Brock England converts on a breakaway as he doubles Seattle's leads. Late in the first, Tyson Lafreniere finds the back of the net to cut that lead in half. After Seattle made it 3-1, Carson Adair scored his 4th of the season to bring it to 3-2. Dying moments of the second, and Cameron Schmidt finds the back of the net to make it 4-2 Seattle, and that would be the game winner as the Canes go on to lose 6-3. Hall of Fame goaltender Glenn Hall, nicknamed Mr. Goalie, has died at 94. Born in Humboldt, Saskatchewan in 1931, Hall was known as an Iron Man and innovator during the NHL's career with Detroit, Chicago, and St. Louis. Glenn Hall played goaltender with, as we said, Detroit, Chicago, and St. Louis. He won the Vezina Trophy 3 times and 2 Stanley Cups. His record of 502 consecutive games as a goalie will likely never be broken. Hall's final season was in the 1970-71, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1975. The country's top figure skaters have gathered in Gatineau this week to compete in the Canadian National Skating Championships. It's all leading up to Sunday, when Team Canada will announce which skaters will be competing at the Winter Games. CTV's Peter Splurzing has more.
There's excitement on the ice in Gatineau.
And I'm so excited to compete here.
Figure skating champion Leah Cho looking forward to competing at the 2026 Canadian National Skating Championships.
My favorite part of competing is showing everyone how much I love this sport, and it's just performing and jumping.
The event taking place this year at the Slush Puppy Center.
This is the biggest event of the year for us. You know, this is a junior and senior competition. 300 athletes from across the country competing in singles, pairs, ice dance, and synchronized skating.
Now, if you want to get up close to the action, there are several events every day this week, with many looking forward to Sunday, when we find out who will represent Team Canada at this year's Winter Olympics.
Nationals is always a big deal, but every 4 just gets a little more attention.
We just appreciate seeing the figure skating in person.
For Kathy White, who drove from Toronto, attending is a tradition.
We've been coming to the Canadian National Figure Skating Championships every year since 1992.
I'll tell you, there's some awesome signatures on this.
Tom Ray not here to add autographs to his flag, but cheer on skaters.
You know, if we run into some, that'd be great, but no, it's not really that I'm trying to get more signatures. I want to wave it for them.
Goals and excitement for fans and athletes.
I think I did very well. This was my best skate of the season, so very good timing on the national stage.
I really hope I could see myself competing in the Olympics one day and also competing at Worlds and representing Canada.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
With the Winter Olympics fast approaching, a symbol of the Games has arrived in Italy. The Olympic torch relay landed on Italy's eastern coast and has made its way to a mountaintop castle. The relay will span about 12,000 kilometers all around Italy, passing through their 110 provinces ahead of the Games, which begin February the 6th. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, the marriage proposal that went so very, very wrong when we come back. Well, there's a moment couples are supposed to treasure, the marriage proposal, but this one did not go according to plan. ABC's Lara Spencer has that story.
I was high up. I was terrified for my life. I'm about to ask this woman to marry me.
It was the moment Trevor Van Camp had been planning for over a year. A romantic proposal to his girlfriend Danielle Jenkins under the lights of the Sky Bridge, Michigan at Boyne Mountain Resort. But his face says it all. What happened next was anything but part of the plan.
I was in complete shock. I can't believe I did that. All that money, oh my God. I just ruined her proposal.
The ring slipping through his fingers, falling nearly 120 feet into the snowy ground below.
I just laughed because this was such a Trevor thing to do. I think I was just more or less like, oh crap, what do we do next?
After looking for more than 2 hours, the couple quitting their search. But the resort's overnight snowmaking supervisor, Pat Harper, was determined to make it right. In the darkness, his metal detector picking up a signal.
I thought, no way, I just found that. And I picked it up, and sure enough, there was their engagement ring.
Trevor finally able to complete his plan with a proposal neither will ever forget.
I've had a lot of people ask me if it ruined the proposal, and it didn't. It made the proposal.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.